What's up, family? Man, I want to jump on. I want to have a heart-to-heart with you guys today. Man, stay with me. We're going to go somewhere. I'm talking about trust. Trust, a different perspective. A different perspective of trust. Man, it's a trip because, man, I shared with you guys, man, earlier this year, man, I went through something with the lady I was married to, and man, whew, that fucked me up. You know what I mean? It messed me up. It did. And the trip is, I've gotten to the place, and this is not about bashing anybody. That's not what we do here. You know what I mean? It's not bashing anybody. Stay with me. I'm going somewhere. And so we went through a situation, and it was epic. You know what I mean? It was life-changing. It was catastrophic. You know what I mean? And man, it hurt a lot. It hurt me a lot. Stay with me. And the trip was, I've gotten to the place where I can forgive her, forgive myself. But if the truth be told, I have trust issues. You know what I mean? I have trust issues. And I'm making this video because so many of us have trust issues. We do, if we're honest with ourselves. You know what I mean? We want to be loved. We want to be in a healthy relationship, a loving relationship. But so many of us have been in a relationship that we thought was love and we thought was all that. And then for whatever reason, somebody did something and it fucked all that up. You know what I mean? Somebody did something and it destroyed our trust. You know what I mean? And now we're stuck like, what the fuck? I would have died for you. I would have, man. And then after we look at them and we stop blaming them for what they did, and we start looking at ourselves and like, well, what the fuck is wrong with me? To where I could choose somebody that would hurt me this way. What's wrong with my judgment? What's wrong with my discernment? What's wrong with my thought process to where I could hook up with somebody, fall in love with somebody, marry somebody, or whatever the case may be so close, so open and transparent with somebody, and they're dogging me out, and they ain't even got my best interest at heart. What's wrong with me that I can't see that? What's wrong with me where I couldn't see that? What's wrong with me to where, man, I could fall in love and just give this person my all, my best years and everything I got, and not even understand the fact that they're not into me the way that I'm into them. Talking about trust issues. But it's a different perspective. So many of us, we say we have trust issues and we blame other people. And we're mad at other people for hurting us, for destroying our trust. And then once you move past the blaming other people in your growth and development aspect, because none of us are perfect. Every one of us got issues. Every one of us has something that we have to work on. And the truth is, so as you start growing and healing, you shift from blaming them to where now you start looking at yourself. You can forgive them. You can move beyond what they've done. Man, I forgave her. I moved beyond the anger and the pain and the bitterness and the animosity and just all of that, right? To now it's like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with me? And the trick is, you start looking at yourself. I'm me. Start looking at myself, well, damn. My younger kid's mom left the relationship because she wanted to go back to some dude that was cheating on her, that was beating her, that put her through the fucking ringer. You know what I mean? He put her ass through it. And she left our marriage because she wanted to go back to that relationship. And so the trip was, man, after she left and just the whole that whole gamut, man, right? I got mad, obviously. But then I started looking at me. But I looked at me from a different perspective. I looked at me from the perspective of, dude, you ain't shit. You can do everything you can to try to make this woman happy. You can do everything you can to try to help her and meet her halfway and woo-doo-doo. And your ass ain't shit. You ain't cussing her out. You ain't putting hands on her. You ain't doing none of that shit. You ain't cheating on her. Nothing like that. Your ass ain't shit. Because she would much rather have some dude cheating on her. She would much rather have some dude beating the fuck out of her. She would much rather have some dude cussing her the fuck out. But that's not who you are, Elijah. You don't want to go back to being that person. Not that I've ever put hands on women like that, but now I was out there hoeing and doing all kinds of stupid stuff. And the thing is, I went through this process of, man, life was so much simpler when I didn't give a fuck about women. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. Life was so much simpler when all I was doing was just looking out for me. I didn't give a fuck about anybody else. You got in where you fit in. You know what I mean? And that was just my mentality. I'm talking about trust issues. And what I had to understand, what I had to grow up and understand and see was that life isn't easier when you don't give a fuck about other people. Life isn't easier when you out there hoeing and doing stupid ass shit. Life isn't easier. You're just not facing your shit. You're just not being mature. You're just not being responsible. And you're completely distracted. You're not growing. You're not healing. You're not doing anything that you came here to do. And so, I had to grow up. And I'm still growing up. And the trip is, after me and our wife went our separate ways, this young lady started talking to a young lady on the phone, and she wigged out one day. Because I told her I was going to go take a shower. And she started cussing and just going on because I didn't answer the fucking phone. What the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, she sent me all this stupid ass shit in text messages and just fucking voicemails and just dumb ass, ignorant ass shit. And I was like, what the fuck is this shit? You fucked up. I'm cool. I can't fuck with you. Your ass ain't fucking rap tight. You know what I mean? And the trip is, in the back of my mind, it's like, what the fuck? Why do you attract these damaged ass motherfuckers? What the fuck is wrong with your judgment? You attract this shit. That's not even who the fuck you are. You don't even get down like this shit right here. So initially, it's easy to focus on them. Initially, it's easy like, man, this bitch got me fucked up and da-da-da-da-da, all this other stupid shit, right? Then after you deal with that and heal and grow from that, then what we do is we shift and start looking at us. Okay. It ain't about them. We start blaming us. What the fuck is wrong with me? Why? Why couldn't I see that from the beginning? How come I couldn't feel that energy from the gates? Why did I open myself up to them? And then some of us, we stayed in toxic ass situations like that. Now we're like, what the fuck? Why did I stay there? I can't even trust myself. I know this motherfucker ain't no fucking good for me. They might be perfect for somebody else, but they ain't for me. You know what I mean? But why did I stay in this toxic ass shit as long as I did? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my judgment? And here's the trick. Many of us, we see the good in people. We see the bad in them too. But we see the good in them. And for me, that so fucked me up. Because I could feel energy. but I also see God in everybody. So you hear me saying the word namaste. Namaste to me, it means that I see, I feel, I acknowledge, I recognize, I cherish the God in you. The God in me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the God in you. God is in every one of us. Most of us don't act like we got God in us. You know what I mean? Most of us act like we just fucked up. But it is what it is. Every one of us got God in us. And so for the fucked up part for me, I'm just talking about me, is that I see the good in you. Many people, when we talk about trust, it's like, oh man, I've been hurt by women, so fuck women. I'm never trusting women again. Or I've been hurt by guys. Fuck guys. I'm never dating a guy again. Or I've been hurt by a black guy. I've been hurt by a white person. I've been hurt by a Hispanic, an Asian, whatever. And so like, fuck them. I'm not dealing with their ass no more. You know what I mean? And so we put everybody in that same fucking boat and they just, y'all assed out. Y'all ain't never getting this shit again. You know what I mean? But here's the trick. Trust is just deeper. It goes deeper than that. You know what I mean? That's so superficial. That's so elementary. You know, to put everybody in that same boat. To put all women in that same category. To put all Hispanic women in that same category. Put all black women in that same category. To put all black guys in the same category. Because every one of us are different. Every one of us are different. But every one of us have God in us. We're different, we act different, we talk different, we think different. But every one of us have God in us. Every one of us should be a work in progress. And the trick is for me, I know that none of us are perfect. I know that all of us should be a work in progress. And because I see that, because I understand that, and because I see God in every one of us, it's easy to overlook the red flags. It's easy to overlook and to ignore and to minimize the warning signs. Why? I know I'm not perfect. I know I have things that I'm still working on. I know I'm gonna make a mistake from time to time. Not intentionally, just I'm gonna make a mistake because I'm human. And so it's hard for me to expect and demand perfection from others when I know myself I'm not perfect. That's not a plateau that I'm gonna reach in this physical realm. I get that, I understand it. And so it's, for me, I can't demand perfection from others when I know myself I'm not perfect. And so if I can't expect or demand perfection from others, then that means that they're entitled to make mistakes. They're entitled to be imperfect. They have flaws. They have character defects. Because the truth is, we all do. Going back to trust. So how do you trust picking the right person when you understand that, man, God is in every one of us? When you understand that, man, none of us are perfect. When you understand, man, people are entitled to make mistakes. People are going to make mistakes. People have character defects. People are going to let you down because they're imperfect. So how do you trust picking the right person for you? How do you trust dating somebody? How do you trust giving your heart to somebody? How do you trust being open and transparent and hoping that they're open and transparent with you, and trusting that they're open and transparent with you. You go into the relationship trusting that they're going to be honest and genuine. Trusting that they're going to work on their issues. And that's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. Trusting. When you've been hurt so many times in the past. When you've been let down so many times in the past. When you've been disappointed and fucked over so many times in the past. I was talking to God. God, I trust humans to be human. I trust women to be women. I trust guys to be guys. God, I've done everything that I could to choose the right person, to hook up with the right people. And whatever happens, happened. God, if the truth be told, I kind of had trust issues with you too. I kind of had issues with God in regards to trust. Because of all the shit I've gone through in my past. And the truth is, God had to talk to me one day. It's like, Elijah, I've never let you down. I've never disappointed you. Not time out, yeah, the fuck you did. You know what I mean? Yes, you did, God. You disappointed me a whole fucking lot. You know, this is grown folk channel. We're going to keep shit real. And I have to tell God, man, you let me down a lot, God. You disappointed me a lot, God. Yes, everything always works out for me. But I was disappointed because that's not what I wanted to happen. I was disappointed because I didn't expect that. I was disappointed because that caught me by surprise. I was disappointed in you guys because that fucking hurt me. That fucking crushed me. I blamed them, and I blamed you too, God. Because you should have been protecting me. Because you should have prepared me. You should have warned me. You could have stopped that. And I get it that, man, I had to learn from that. I had to grow from that. But that don't make the pain any less bearable. That don't fix the broken heart. That don't heal my trust issues. And so what God had to show me is, Elijah, because you've gone through so much, it's hard for you to trust. You want to trust. You give people the benefit of the doubt. But when you really get to the core, you trust humans to be human. And you trust that they're going to hurt you. You believe they're going to hurt you. Because you've gotten hurt so many times in the past. Because you've been disappointed so many times in the past. Because you've been caught off guard so many times in the past. And it's fucked you up. You love. You try to trust. You trust to the best of your ability. But you don't have any trust. And that was a hard thing to hear. That was a hard message for me to hear from God. I can trust God. I know everything's always working out for me. I can't really trust humans. I don't. I want to, but I don't. I trust you to be a human. I trust you to be imperfect just like me. I trust you to have character defects and character flaws just like me. And that's something that I have to work on still. That's my thing to you guys, is that you guys already know I'm not perfect. That's me being transparent and open with you guys. That I have to learn how to trust humans again. I have to learn how to trust women to not dog me out. Because everybody say it. I'll never treat you like them bitches did and da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. I've heard all that shit. And the people that said that hurt me the most. So, man, I'm asking you guys, man, just send me your prayers, your thoughts, your positive thoughts, you know what I mean? As far as me, this is something that I'm working on right now, is learning how to trust. I trust God, but I can't trust humans. I trust you to be you. I trust you to be imperfect. I trust you to be messed up. Man, I hope and pray that I said something to help you, to let you know that, man, if you got trust issues, you ain't the only one. You know what I mean? And the great majority of us have trust issues. We do. And we have to learn how to heal from that and to grow from that. I love you. Happy healing.